What's going on, everybody? So, as you can see, we are trying a new app, and we're gonna have some fun. This is NFL Talk with Trox and Cy. We got our guy right down here. Once I get this thing, I gotta figure out where my cursor is. There we go. We got our man right here, Cy Gray. What's going on,
That's right.
Cy?
Hey, good evening, Chucks. Good evening, all. How you guys doing? Hopefully, everybody's doing well.
Absolutely. We got Kelly Gardner in the building. We got 6 9 Tails. We got Tyler Shaw. We got R, Time in the Buckeye, Michael Johnson. What's going on, everybody? Doing a little pop-up stream. We got our topics. Which way is it? Down over here. We are gonna open up with a moment of silence. We had the MSU tragedy that happened on Monday. I did lose a member of my brother-in-law's family. Was a person that passed away in the school shooting, and then we had a Detroit Lion member passing away at the age of 40 in Stanley Wilson, who also passed away. So we're gonna give a moment of silence to all those that was affected by Monday's incident at MSU, and a moment of silence for Stanley Wilson. All right, all right. Man, hopefully we don't have no more of that stuff. I know this world's been going crazy, and that's why I always try to tell everybody, hey, be with the loved ones, let them know that you love them, and things like that, because hey, we're here today, gone tomorrow. You never know when that one day is going to be, but let the ones that you love know that you love them. What's up, the past master? Hold on one quick second. All right, sorry about that. Still trying to get over my cold from 2 weeks ago. Still got that nasty little cough. But so we got the Super Bowl hangover is our next topic, and we had the Kansas City Chiefs and the Philadelphia Eagles going head to head in Glendale, Arizona. Sai, what's your thoughts on what happened in the Super Bowl?
Man, it's one of those great Super Bowls. It was everything I believe everyone expected. You had top two seeds from each conference meeting the Super Bowl, so there's no questions there. I think it was a great Super Bowl, man. It was fine. I'm not sure if I'm in. I think it's the room is split. With the last call, with that defensive holding. I just, I'm on the side. I think the ref needed to swallow the whistle at that time, and I get it. I get the rules are the rules, understand it, and you don't go into a game as a referee with any preconceived notions. Oh, with X amount of time left, I'm not going to call this call. I think it was just small. Yes, it was an infraction. We saw it, but he did. The ball was thrown over the man's head 7 yards.
Yeah.
He couldn't have gotten to it, and I think it was just too big of a call. If you're going to lose, I'm not. I had no. I'm a Detroit Lions fan, so no horse in a race. But
Hey,
yeah,
same
I
here.
just think if you're going to lose, if I'm going to lose, fine. But when it comes down to winning that way, hey, salute to Kansas City. Cool enough. Happy for them. I can see where the Eagles had a little heartburn, but other than that, it was an outstanding game, man. It lived up to the billing.
Absolutely. What's up, Vash Starwin? How's it going, brother? But absolutely. I mean, shout out to who was that? James Bradbury. He actually was like, "Hey, look, it was a hold. I'm
Yeah.
guilty of it. They called it. It was right, and things
Yeah.
like that. So shout out to James for taking accountability because
Right.
in this NFL, hey, everybody like, hey, I didn't do nothing. Come on now,
Yeah.
So he took accountability, and that's one thing that I love seeing. What's up, Johnny Blaze? So
Yeah.
it's like having the accountability and then the great matchup. I mean, 73 points was combined in that
Yeah.
game. Like, holy
Straight.
smokes. It was like, oh man, like we actually had a real good offensive match. I would have loved to see a little bit more on the defensive side. Like that just to me was like, man, I wish there was a little bit more defense. So like seeing the one defensive touchdown, I was just like, yeah, because I'm a defensive guy.
Yeah.
When your defense can start scoring and things like that, like, man, that's just that much more better. Um,
Yeah.
so it's just like, you know, I mean, 73 points though. I mean, it was a dogfight. Like nobody wanted to lose that game.
No.
There was
No.
Travis Kelsey versus Jason Kelsey. And I don't know if you guys seen what is that, Gridiron Heights or something like that, or New
Oh,
Heights or something,
yeah.
whatever their
The
podcast
Bleacher
is.
Report.
Yeah,
Oh,
but
no.
yeah, they
Okay.
have
Yeah.
that podcast between the two brothers, and
Yeah.
man, hey, man, I wanted to cry just seeing them cry
Oh,
because they were
yeah.
talking about
I
his
didn't see
mom.
it yet, though.
Oh,
Yeah.
yeah, you gotta definitely go see it because man, it was a heartfelt thing. They were talking about Mama Kelsey, and it was real nice to see. So it's just like, man. But I know both of them did not want to lose that game, you know.
Yeah,
But
man.
what's up? R says Raiders got rid of Carr is their mistake. I hope he goes to Atlanta.
Hmm.
Yeah, I know Atlanta's looking for possibly a quarterback. They did draft Desmond Ritter, but we're gonna get into free agency. We're gonna get into the draft. We're gonna get into all that
Sure.
as the show goes on and things like that. What's up, Brad Keen? What's up, Bay? The Bishop's in the building. Kelly Gardner, how's it going?
Hmm.
But yeah, so it's just like, I love the Super Bowl. I mean, hey, I called it earlier. As the season progressed, I was like, it looks like it's going to be KC in Philly.
Yeah.
I wish that it would have been the Bills in it because obviously with the Damar Hamlin situation, I just felt like what a
Yeah.
feel good story how to end that
Yeah.
type of season, especially with the season that he had. And, they went out and fought for him to get him a ring and stuff like that. Um, you know, so it's just like, I mean, but I still don't think that the NFL got it wrong. Like the Chiefs, man, they were lights out. I mean, outside of, what do you call it? They lost their number one guy in Tyreek Hill. They didn't
Hmm.
really have no superstar wide receivers. Like the receiving core was all Philly in that game.
Yeah.
And well, in that matchup. And for Patrick Mahomes, like that just shows how special that kid is.
Exactly. Correct.
And then you got, the grit and toughness of Jalen Hurts. Like these two quarterbacks are gonna be in the Super Bowl again. And they're probably gonna match up against each other. Like the way that it was set up, like it was a great matchup.
Yeah, for sure, man. I think going back to what you just said, I think it's a testament to the greatness of Patrick Mahomes. Nobody obviously saw this coming, but for him to lose Tyreek Hill, he struggled at the end of last season, but to see the man rebound, come back, get an MVP, and win the game in a fashion, again, he doesn't need much time.
Yeah.
Philly did, they completely dominated the game. I mean, in every statistical category, except for one that matters, the rushing yardage,
Oh yeah.
Kansas City held the edge there. And that's a huge one. But they essentially, the Eagles dominated that game. But mama, there goes that man. There's go Patrick Mahomes. He don't need much, and it just shows you how great of a quarterback he is. He's a heady player, makes something out of nothing. Sneaky fast, as they said, more quick than just more nimble. He's just very heady, man, and I have to salute. I think he's the best quarterback in the game. I mean, it's a lot of. I'm a Josh Allen fan.
Me too.
Prior to Watson having his issues, I could say that was probably my favorite quarterback. But Patrick Mahomes tried, tested, and true, man. The most amazing thing about this guy's career, I mean, really, if he did retire today, or God forbid any injury, that man is a Hall of Famer, man. If you look at other people like Lynn Swan and Gail Sayers, these abbreviated careers. Even Terrell Davis, most recently,
Yeah,
short-lived, but they were dominant for their time. And I think Patrick Mahomes, again, God forbid, but he would definitely fall into that category of being a Hall of Famer.
absolutely. What's up, Montana Foxes? How's it going? But absolutely, the past
Yeah,
master says Darius Slay got robbed. I was pulling for Philly just because I wanted him to get a ring. Absolutely. I mean, it wasn't his fault that we got rid of him. It was, our regime that we had. That was the reason that we got rid of him. Said Eagles
man,
lose.
for
They
sure.
played good. Absolutely. What's up, just me? Hey, Truck's not trying to sound rude. I'm not sure what I missed, but you've been off more than on lately. What's up with that? I've actually had a lot of internet issues. So that's what that was. I finally got it, fingers crossed, fixed. Uh, because man, I hate not being on. I know everybody that knows me knows that when I'm not on, I am one mad and sad person because it's just like, oh man, like I love being on. Being with
Yeah,
you guys, being able to communicate, and having a good laugh and things like that. Like I love that more than anything in itself. It goes it goes God first, my family, and then streaming. Streaming, making videos, YouTube, like the whole 9 yards in that category. Like it's my top three. So yeah, that's why just me. Hopefully hopefully I got the internet fixed because if not, I am going to pull out every single one of my hairs. I I
don't want
I
to end up
hate.
like me.
Hey, no, I mean I'm going completely like no eyebrows, no eyelashes, no
Oh
beard, no
wow!
mustache, no hair, no
Right.
nothing. Like every single one of my hairs I'm going to pull out because it's so frustrating.
Yeah, man. Yeah, Past Master. The Past Master say you had never heard of me. Actually, me and try kind of stretch back a little bit now.
Oh
I'm
yeah,
still relatively new to the streaming game, so thank you for acknowledging me, the Past Master. Not here for that, but hopefully you get familiar with me. Hopefully, I can make good on the platform that Trox is sharing with me, and hopefully everybody can get something from what I'm saying, and also I could absorb what you guys have to say because this is a case of dialogue, not monologue. So it's interactive, and I'm looking forward to it and doing this a little bit more often.
absolutely. And hey, you already know, side my door is always open on this channel. Anytime you
Yes,
want
sir.
on, I do have another channel called Detroit Lions Powerhouse where this is my co-host over there. So we do a show. We haven't done one in about a week, but we are going to get back to it.
Yeah,
I'm working on something for it, and as soon as that happens, we're back on to it. And then we're going to be live every day right around 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And we're going to have a good show. Talking anything Detroit Lions. But that's over on that channel. And so any Lion fans in the chat on the channel, if you're watching this on replay as we are live right now, definitely search up, Detroit Lions Powerhouse. You will find me. And then you'll find Cy over there with me because hey, every day we're gonna be live streaming. So
yes,
talking
sir.
some Detroit Lions.
Sure.
But what's up, Mrs. Bird Gang? Bird Gang 31. uh, my my other co-host. That's his wife. So shout out to Mrs. Bergang. And
Oh,
man, hey, that was a hard fought game, Mrs. Bergang. Both teams did not want to lose.
yeah, it was great. You know,
Absolutely,
and
that was one of the greatest football games I've seen in a minute in the Super Bowl.
yeah, I agree. It came down to the last minute, and I get us both being former defensive players. You know, you do appreciate that element.
Oh, oh yeah,
But you know, as they say, chicks dig the long ball. So I think that it was a win-win. You know, they got enough offense. It kept everybody engaged for the most part. It seemed, you know, of both sexes. You know, and it was just it was all around good game. Even had a defensive touchdown, almost
that was
two.
that. Hey, I don't know
Yeah,
about you, but your boy got up off of his chair cheering that play on.
yeah. Nick
Like I
Bolton.
don't have a dog in the fight, but man, when I see a defensive touchdown like that,
Yeah,
hey, the
yeah,
former
man,
defensive player in myself comes out and like, let's go.
for sure, for sure.
Pass
Yeah,
message.
man. So
What did
yeah, I
you
think
do?
I think they should start making the Monday after like a federal
Oh,
holiday, man.
oh, that's facts.
Yeah, I'm telling you,
Oh,
man, it's
no
really a
school,
hangover.
no work, no nothing.
In fact, I think in a couple of places, a couple of states or maybe counties, I think a buddy of mine, he said he's in California now. He's an Eagles fan too, but they actually gave his child his school. So I think it's that way in a couple of places. But you know, that should be a federal holiday. That's
Oh,
what I believe.
absolutely. What did Juju Smith Schuster do? LOL, he got a ring. Man, hey, that's
You know,
crazy.
yeah.
He leaves my other team. You know, I'm a Steeler fan, so you know he leaves my Steelers after making 9 TikToks, and he got himself 3 touchdowns in the ring. I'm like, ain't that about a trip? But
Man,
obviously, us Lion fans also know that we had a former wide receiver. He still hasn't got a ring, but hey, he was one of those 50-50 guys. Like I mean, some games he was on, some games he wasn't. I'm talking about um, number 19, plays for the New York Giants.
oh yeah, Kenny Galladay.
Kenny Galladay, appreciate that.
Yeah,
Hey,
yeah.
see how relevant he's been. Forgot the man's name. My bad. Hey.
Actually, yeah, man, it's all good. I actually had a Giants. I actually hosted the Super Bowl this year at my house, and
Oh,
we had a
nice.
Giants. Yeah, we had a Giants fan in the house, and of course, we had some pleasant exchanges about Kenny Galladay and his receiving core. And yeah, I don't think that the fan base is too happy with Kenny Galladay. You know, as they say, in one man's trash is usually another man's treasure. Well, not in this case.
Yeah. I
So
mean,
yeah,
it's just been I don't know. Sometimes I feel like fit is a huge thing because, you know, I feel like he just does not fit in New York. Actually, you know where I could see him going? Pittsburgh. Like he kind of fits like that physicality type, Steeler type football. I
oh
mean,
yeah,
because
it
they
could
like
be.
their physical receivers. That's
Yeah.
why they love George Pickens. He's more of like that physicality type of guy.
Oh, for
So I
sure.
mean, I could definitely see him going there, and I don't know, maybe try to resurrect his career. If anybody can try to resurrect his career, I got my faith in Mike Tomlin. I don't have my faith in
Yeah,
Matt Canada, but
yeah,
I
yeah,
have faith in Mike Tomlin to get the man right. So hey, Kenny Galladay, if
yeah,
you ever listen to any of my shows, hey, go to Pittsburgh, man. Uh,
yeah. Definitely, the attitude needs to change there. So it's never
yeah,
been about ability; it's been about availability
yeah,
and attitude. You know.
yeah.
So, hey, Godspeed, man. Wish him well.
Absolutely. Just me says, imagine you following JT around talking sports. Hey, do you see why I'm on YouTube now? I started talking sports and she was like, go away. So I had to find someone to talk sports with. So we got the community to talk sports. We got my good friend Cy on with us. So
Sure.
yeah. You know, I mean, she loves sports, but she's not a diehard like your boy. What's up, Key in the building? Definitely go check out Key in the building. We do have a Philadelphia Eagles powerhouse. Uh, it's going to be launching very soon, so definitely check out. She's going to be taking over Philadelphia Eagles powerhouse and also Philadelphia 76ers powerhouse. So we're going to have some
Nice.
basketball content over there and Eagle content over there. So definitely check out Key in the building. And hey, we got to get her monetized over there on Key in the Building's YouTube channel. So definitely go over there and check her out. And man, let's get her monetized over there.
Yeah, man. So yeah, but yeah, I think that's a wrap on that, man. I think everybody was treated to a pretty good game. You know, kind of closing out the Super Bowl onwards and upwards. You know, see how our individual teams can hopefully use some of those examples given on how to properly build a team, and
Yeah,
you know, we got a
absolutely.
shot, and everybody has a shot. 1 in
Absolutely. That's
32.
one thing I love about the NFL is as long as you make the playoffs, you got a 50-50 shot at making it. You
Yeah,
know.
yeah,
What's
yeah.
up, Hefe? I know he's excited. His team won a Super Bowl, but says good game, Philly. What's up? The past match says, where's Linda B? We all know she wanted Kelsey to get a ring. Not sure if that ring she wanted him to get though. LOL. Love you, Linda B. What's up, 100 people? Says, what's up, crew? What's up, Brandon? But so I am gonna bring in a QR code. As long as you
Mm,
can keep it clean and things of
please
that
do.
nature. If you see where number 5, question and answer with the chat, you can record up to a 1-minute video to ask a question, either to me, to Cy, to both of us, and we'll definitely answer it. And so I'm gonna bring in a QR code. You can record a up to 1 minute, and you can ask us a question, or or whatever you want to do. Just keep it clean, please, so I can bring it onto the show. But let me get that QR code real quick. Uh, okay, right here. All right, all right. There we go. So that QR code right on the bottom right is where you just scan your phone and it'll take you
Yeah.
into it, and it's pretty much self-explanatory. You just go in and it'll say, okay, you can start a record, and you can record up to 1 minute.
Who does this? Next level, baby. Who's
What?
doing this? Next level, baby. Show them, Trox. I'm trying to tell you, innovative. Let's go, baby. Who does that? Some new.
Hey, absolutely. Hey, shout out to my peoples. Hey, they doing something special over here. They
Yeah, man.
definitely doing something special. So
Yeah, that's
uh
dope, man.
and I'm going to start doing some things like this to where it's more interactive. It's more about the community and things like that, because man, without y'all, we just two guys talking to each other about sports. Like, you guys make it more interactive and things like that. So without y'all, I mean, we literally are nothing on this platform. So definitely shout out to you, every single one of y'all in the chat. I love you all. And man, I'm excited for this though.
Yeah, man. Yeah, it's a lot of good things coming up. You know, we got I guess about 4 weeks before we get to NFL free agency, I believe. Well, I guess the next thing is to figure out if teams are gonna start re-signing players, cutting them and moving them, and we got some pretty big names out there that's in the middle of contract disputes. And I know, you got Lamar Jackson is at the top of the list.
Oh
Figure
yeah.
out what's going on in Baltimore. I think the writing's been on the wall for Derek Carr
Yeah,
in
he actually was
Vegas.
officially released.
Was that today?
Uh I think it was either today or yesterday he was officially released.
Okay. Yeah, so yeah, maybe I'm a little behind. I got a lot going on right now, but trust me, I know what I'm talking about when I
Hey,
when I do
absolutely.
open up my mouth. Yeah, man.
so so February 21st through March 7th, they have until 4 p.m. on March 7th, and teams may designate the franchise tag or
Franchise.
or transition players. So
Mhm.
they got till 4 p.m. on March 7th, but it opens up on the 21st. So we got about another, I'd say, 6 more days or 5 more days for that to start opening up. So we're going to see, who's going to get the tag, who's not going to get the tag, who's going to get transitioned, and things like that. And then late February, early March, there's the compensatory,
Compensatory.
compensatory picks announced. Full 7 rounds, NFL draft order will be set. And then February 27th through March 6th is the NFL scouting combine. March 13th at noon Eastern Standard Time, the NFL free agency tampering period begins. And if you're available, Cy, I know I'm going to be live for it, but if you want, if you got some time, noon on March 13th, I will be live because obviously we know like that's where all like the big names, it seems like, start actually getting announced. And
For
then
sure.
the day one, it's like, okay, we kind of knew all these, and then you get another little bit of big name wave, and then and then it'll start dwindling down the list. But
Yeah.
tampering period is usually the day that I like to get on. Uh, to break
The
the
legal
free
tampering.
agency. Yeah, the legal tampering.
Yeah. Yeah.
So if you're available at noon on March 13th, I'm going to be live. So if you want to hop on with me, definitely my door is open.
Yes, sir.
And then we have March 15th at 4 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, the NFL new league year and NFL free agency and trading period opens up. March 22nd through the 24th, top quarterbacks pro days. So guys like C.J. Stroud, Bryce Young, Will Levis, Anthony Richardson, guys like that. That's their top quarterback pro days. And then March 26th through the 9th, they got the annual league owners meeting. March 17th, teams with returning head coaches may begin off-season workout programs. Obviously, with new coaches, they, I believe, get 1 extra week ahead of time, or it might be 2 weeks ahead of time,
Oh
where they
yeah.
could start, because obviously they're a brand new coach, and and
Yeah.
they're trying to implement what they're trying to do.
Yeah. I
So they
forgot
get a
about
little
that.
leeway.
Yeah.
And then April 19th, deadline for clubs that host top 30 visits with NFL draft eligible players. April 21st, deadline for restricted free agents to sign offer sheets. And then in the chat, I was asked, when is the NFL draft? The NFL draft is April 27th through the 29th. And as you guys know, every year I have been live for the NFL draft, so definitely stay tuned for that. I will be live all 3 days.
Oh yeah.
I think Sai, you said you were going to be on for the draft,
Definite. Definite.
and then I'm going to have some more guests and things like that coming onto the channel. Uh, so we can have another good year of NFL draft. What's up, H1 Badger? What's up, Joey DeLuca? Jake the Tribal Chief? How's it going?
Jake the
Uh,
Tribal Chief.
yes,
Dope
sir.
name.
And then we have May 1st is the deadline for teams to exercise the 5th-year option. So, Lion fans, we have Jeff Okuda. So, Jeff Okuda, his deadline is May 1st, aka is near Star Wars Day. For those of you that know me, I'm a huge Star Wars fan. So
Oh
May the
wow.
4th is obviously Star Wars
Star
Day.
Wars. Yeah.
So 3 days before that, hey, we'll know if Jeff Okuda is going to be a Detroit Lion for at least one more year,
Yeah.
or are we going to be moving on from him? May 5th through the 8th or May 12th through the 15th. Teams allocated a 3-day period for rookie mini camps. May 22nd through the 24th, spring league meetings. And then late May through early June, you got OTAs and mandatory mini camp. And then obviously late July is training camp. And, hey, Lions, I'm going to be there. And we're going to have some fun at training camp. I missed it last year. Obviously, I was dealing with a lot of things going on. But, hey, I'm going to be there for training camp.
It's amazing sitting here listening to you rattle off the NFL calendar, and it kind of it's a testament to the power of the NFL. The staying power, and it's just always something going on. And when there's not official events going on, it's enough drama involved. In the off season, and it's just so much. Just so much stuff. You understand why NFL is king in this country,
The NFL does it on purpose. Why? Because it keeps them relevant even when they're not playing.
Yeah, for sure, man.
So shout out to the NFL on their marketing team because they know how to stay relevant even when there's no football on.
Yep. And I'm there for it all, mouth wide
open. Oh, yeah. Same here.
Yeah, that's me looking up at my TV.
Oh yeah. Brennan says I ride torn lightcycle power run last Friday. It was an awesome ride. And hold on a second. Can you take over real quick?
Yeah, for sure. So anyway, yeah, that's what I was just saying about the NFL calendar, guys. It's jam packed, and I don't know if you guys like watch other sports or whatever. I mean, the one constant force in my life. Now I watch, football, baseball, basketball, but NFL is king. It's just been king since 1980. 86 roughly for me when I watched it, 85 Bears, 86 Giants. I really got heavy into it. I remember the 89 Super Bowl when you had, the San Francisco and the Bengals playing, and I was so crushed that the Bengals did. I like the Icky Shuffle, but, when Barry hit Detroit, man, I've been hooked ever since, man. So I was a youngin' back then, man, and just to see how much the league is just dominating the sports scene. They say America's favorite pastime is what? Baseball.
Yep.
Not anymore, man. It's just unbelievable, man.
Hold on real quick. Bay says good night. Hey, Bay, have a wonderful night. I appreciate you for stopping in.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. So, yeah, man. It's a lot of things to look forward to, man. I'm looking forward to this free agency period, man. Can we talk about some notable free agents? You want to try to get into that?
Absolutely.
For everybody there in the chat. And you guys, again, even if you don't use the QR code, please feel free to just, throw some comments in there, some questions that we can answer and participate in. It's just really an open session right now. We got you kind of see the script that we have, but feel free to interact with us. Even if you don't use that QR code.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. What's up, MSU Detroit fan?
Yeah.
But absolutely. I mean, we got a pretty good list of free agents. Let me bring up what is that? Over the Cap, I believe. That has all the free agency lists. Free agency tracker. There we go. Okay, so let me bring it in.
Showing out now.
Okay, there we go. Hold on a second. Let me actually bring it up like this so I can interact with it. All right, there we go. Let me get rid of these ads. Okay. All right, there we go. Okay, so notable free agency. Obviously, we did have the comment by R saying Derek Carr is a free agent. Tom Brady is obviously retired, but he was a free agent. Michael Thomas, New Orleans Saints, is a free agent. Got Orlando Brown, Baker Mayfield, Deion Jones, Fletcher Cox, Marcus Peters, Robert Quinn, Javon Hargrave, Yannick Ngakwe, Jesse Bates III, Levante David, Nelson Aguilar, Mike Gesicki, Dalton Schultz, Delvin Tomlinson, DJ Chark, Jadavian Clowney, Jordan Poyer, Jimmy Ward, George Fant, Devin McCourty, Adrian Amos, Evan Ingram, uh, David Ayamada, Connor McGovern, Larry Ojanobi, uh, Akeem Hicks, Ceylon Farrell, Saquon Barkley, James Bradbury. I mean, we got a long list. I mean, Poona Ford is a free agent. Marvin Jones, wide receiver, former Detroit Lion. He's a free agent. Daniel Jones, the quarterback of the Giants, is a free agent. Roger
That's an
Saffold.
interesting one right there.
Oh yeah,
That's a,
Daniel Jones.
yeah, that's a very interesting one. I guess the
Absolutely.
four. I think. What do you think about Daniel Jones, Trox?
Um,
You got any feel for him in this situation?
I do believe. Actually, yeah, JT is right. Hold on, Sai, you are so blocked on this. um,
Oh wow. Yeah.
okay, hold on. Let me actually hold on. Let me put this here. Okay, there we go. And then I could move this over.
That's okay.
All right, there we go. Appreciate that,
There's that.
JT.
Yeah.
But
And even a hologram. It's okay, man.
but I mean, I don't want to give him no disrespect because I mean he really hasn't had like proper development, proper team in place, and things of that nature. So it's like it's so hard to gauge what kind of quarterback he is. Obviously, we all laugh about him with the turf monster and things of that nature, but like if
Yeah.
you really like watch his film, like and things are going right, it's like man, he could be a perennial quarterback in this league. But then like you see some of like the turf monster or
Yeah.
or just errant passes that are just like, why did you do that when you could have just threw it out of bounds and lived to play another down instead of throwing the interception? You know,
Right.
so it's like it's like which Daniel Jones is the Giants going to get? And I think that's the $1 million question that the Giants really have to ask themselves. It's like,
Yeah.
what guy am I going to get?
I think. I mean, my general thing with him is Daniel Jones is still young. They have a new head coach. They have a who's a proven quarterback guru, Brian
Yeah.
Dayball. It's his first year in his system, and he did take some steps forward, as a passer. But really, you have to look at him being a dual threat quarterback because he can scoop, man.
Yes, he
He
can.
can go. So I think it would be in their best interest. I don't believe he would cost the Giants too much, and I don't think there's any potential. Well, there's potential suitors, but I don't think anybody's pounding the table to get
Right.
Daniel Jones in their camp. So um, I think it'd be smart for them to, I think if they gave him enough money, he's probably in that 20 to $25 million a year range, a professional quarterback, but yeah, I think that would be pretty cool. See us a comment or question up here.
Absolutely. I mean, Daniel Jones, it's like, I mean, he has a market. Uh, Now, is he going to be getting what he thinks he might get? Probably not. Um, I mean, I would give him like a Jared Goff kind of contract where it's like,
Yeah,
okay, $20 million. You
yeah,
still got enough money to, give give your players like Saquon Barkley to come back, things of that nature, to where,
Yeah.
hey, look, let's try to run this back. Let's use this draft to get even better, and let's go out there and try to compete.
Yeah.
I could definitely see him on like that $20 million range, and I think that
Yeah.
that's like a perfect contract for a guy like him. And
Yeah,
I
for sure.
even say that about Jared Goff. Like his contract is so beautiful because we still are able to spend money on a team,
Yeah.
and we all say the NFL is the ultimate team game. There's 56 or 53 players that's on a roster. What's up, Bird Gang? How's it going, brother?
What's going on, Bird Gang?
So I mean, $20 million, I think that's right around fair market value for a Daniel Jones. And that's not a be all end all for him, because, or the Giants, I should say, because they can still use a draft pick and go get a quarterback as well. So hey, look, we're going to be in
They
the best
good.
position possible regardless. Like, we got our draft
Yeah.
pick. Okay, hey, if Daniel Jones is our guy, well, guess what? You got a very solid player backing him up. And you don't really have to use a first rounder if you
Well,
re-sign a Daniel Jones.
but
You know,
that's the key right there. And sorry to stop cut you, but see, when I look at that, that's why I say that those are bad organizations, right? Now, if you're going to use a top pick on a quarterback,
and then
then
still sign a quarterback for
so
that
now
much.
you're creating a quarterback controversy for yourself.
Yes. Yep.
That would not be smart, and that's why, again, this is not a line based thing. But the reason why we shouldn't have taken, everybody was clamoring for Malik Willis and the potential. But if you're committed to Jared Goff for at least 2 years, why not see it out? So if you re-sign Daniel Jones, stay unless you get something in the fourth, fifth round, some type of developmental QB. I'm fine for that. But if they go out there and try to trade up or acquire a CJ Stroud or something like that, well,
You
you're
just
just creating
created a headache.
a headache for yourself, i.e. the Commanders back when they were the other team, when they drafted Kirk Cousins and
Oh yeah.
RG3. I mean, it was just like they drafted a quarterback controversy, so and neither one of them are there. So, but anyway, yeah.
What's
So
up,
we can
Mason
come off
Masters?
Daniel Jones, but I thought it was it's an interesting, you know,
Absolutely. Guys like
situation.
even Isaac Sumalu, Eagles left guard, he's a free agent.
Right.
Matt Ioannidis, Julio Jones, Samson Igabikem. Obviously, that's a guy that even Detroit got to keep an eye out on because of the Brad Holmes situation.
Yeah.
Like, could we even talk about Samson Ibiki? Wow, Ibiki. Y'all know who I'm
Yeah.
talking about.
Yeah. Yeah. I know who you're talking
Ibiki,
about.
yeah,
Yeah.
that
Just
guy.
that dude.
Oh man,
Yeah.
some of these names though.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
guys
Yeah. The
like Kareem.
Nigerian names are tough. Yeah.
Oh yeah, you know. Hey, and it's funny because I do got some Nigerian in me too, so it's
Oh,
kind of
wow.
funny though. Uh, Ashawn Robinson is a free agent.
Yeah.
Like I said, Poona Ford, Kareem Hunt is a free agent. Rashad Penny's a free agent.
That's another interesting name right there. Kareem
Ab-
Hunt. You know,
Absolutely.
what's the market? We already know they devalue the position, but that's somebody I think you be getting some potential there. He doesn't have a whole lot of tread on his tire, even though he's a little older now, he still doesn't have that typical running back wear and tear on him. So it says with
I
care
think it's
being up.
Carr.
Oh,
I think
okay.
would
Now,
Carr be an upgrade in your opinion?
for who?
Yeah. I mean, if he's talking about the Giants, oh, for us, I think he said,
Okay.
yeah,
Let
for
me
you
pull up
guys.
my chat.
Um,
No,
yes and
no.
no. I mean, yes, with comeback victories, obviously it'd be like Matthew Stafford 2.0, but I don't know if Brad Holmes wants to get rid of his own guy. Like Brad Holmes was the guy that went out to Les Snead and was like, "Hey, if there's one person you need to trade up for, that is Jared Goff." And Les Snead traded up, first overall pick, and got Jared
Yeah.
Goff. So that is a 110% a Brad Holmes guy. So, I mean, yes, it would technically be an upgrade, but I mean, you're going to pay a lot more, and then that's going to be less adding to the team. So, I like what we have with Jared Goff,
Yeah.
$20 million. I mean, you're not really
Yeah.
breaking the bank. That's exactly what Tom Brady has done. He took $20
And
million, put himself an elite offensive line, got himself some receivers, a tight end, and
yeah.
Gronk, and put himself a defense. And guess what? What did they go out and do? Win some Super
See,
Bowls.
but see, the interesting why that question is why I would be against something like that is exactly what I said. You're just breeding a quarterback controversy. In
Yeah,
my opinion, I think, you know, I guess you could say is maybe an upgrade, but it's almost a lateral move
yeah,
because the thing you may say Derek Carr has more talent, but Jared Goff has already been to a Super Bowl, though
right.
he had not won it. So he didn't win it, but he's proven himself to be a Super Bowl caliber quarterback. So
Yep.
for me, it's definitely a no. Is it an upgrade to answer it? I don't know. I think they're kind of even. So it doesn't make sense. I don't think it would make sense for Detroit to do something like that.
Yeah, I definitely agree with that. And then oh wow, even Devin Bush is a unrestricted free agent for the Steelers linebacker.
He's
Jacoby Brissett.
unrestricted.
Yeah, he's
Wow.
unrestricted
Hmm.
for Devin Bush. Um
Hey, I love to have that. Whew.
hey. I have it over on my other team. I kind of almost don't want to lose that though, because he's still
But
relatively
dude,
young though.
he is. But man, you guys, who's the guy behind him, man? That the one that fills in, comes in, laying wood. I like him, man. Middle linebacker. He comes in thumping when Devin Bush was hurt, and he filled
Oh,
in.
um,
Um,
was it Hightower or was it?
no,
Okay, then it
no.
was.
Gosh,
Oh, his
he's
name's
more
on
than
the tip of my
capable.
tongue too.
Yeah,
Um,
but I
Dang it.
think that guy could start for you guys in the middle because you went out and got the kid from Jacksonville.
Yeah.
What's his name from UCLA? I'm sorry, guys, a little foggy here. Been taking some medication. I got a pinched nerve. If you guys see me kind of squirming and moving around, I got a pinched nerve and I'm taking Lyrica, so it's kind of got me foggy. But anyway, back to your situation with the Steelers middle linebackers. I almost think they think he's expendable, but I just think they gave up so much for him and they never saw a return on it. So,
Yeah.
hey, sign him up for Detroit for me,
Yeah.
for sure.
They got Miles Jack over there.
Miles Jack
Yep.
and
And
and who's the other linebacker? White guy. He comes in laying the wood, man. Every single time I see this, he's just making plays, man.
um
What is
I
his
am
number?
cheating and I am on the internet looking up the roster.
Yeah,
Um it ain't Loudermilk. It
no,
is where is the linebackers? Not Jameer Jones.
no.
Um Not Tate Crowder. Um oh my goodness.
Let me see.
I know JJ Watt. I mean, I know it ain't him because he's the
No,
outside linebacker, but middle linebacker. Um,
yeah,
I know
man.
exactly who you're talking about. I just can't think of the name. There's Alex Highsmith. And then there's Robert Spillane.
Spillane. Good
Yeah,
Lord. Spillane, I'm telling you, man, I think that dude, I'd love to see if he was a free agent. Every time I watch Steelers game, man, he's out there making Elizabeth Hightower. Yeah, he's making plays, man. He's always making plays and laying that lumber, man, laying that wood. So I think between him and Miles Jack, maybe they feel like they have it. I mean, I don't know if they're going to try to re-sign Devin Bush, but I like to have Devin Bush in my camp.
absolutely. What's up, Clinton Simmons? How's it going, brother? But absolutely, I mean, there's just so many guys. Melvin Ingram, edge for the Dolphins. He's a unrestricted free agent. I mean,
Oh,
he's gonna have. I mean, it's not gonna be a high powered market, but he's gonna be a guy that you kind of got to keep him on your radar, especially if you looking for a guy to come off the edge and blitz the quarterback and things like that and cause havoc a little bit. I mean, he's definitely going to be, a guy to kind of keep an eye out. Teams that need a backup quarterback. I mean, Jacoby Brissett. I know he's not like the holy savior of backup quarterbacks, but I mean, if you need a guy to come in a game or two, 3 games, maybe half a season, I
yeah,
mean, you can't get worse than Jacoby Brissett. Like,
yeah,
I've always said this. As long as Eli Apple is still in the NFL and is
man.
still starting, there's a market for guys like a Jacoby Brissett.
Eli Apple has got to be the worst corner in the NFL, man. That dude keeps a
Oh
job.
man,
I don't get it.
I cannot wait
But
till my rivals, the Bengals, can upgrade and replace that guy because hey, I don't want no excuses when we win. you
that
know,
dude is
what's up, cool
garbage.
guys? Fun house.
Yeah. All
But
right. Anybody got any other questions, man? Throw it out there.
absolutely, put it in the comment section. That QR code, you can scan
Yeah.
it and leave a video message. Let's see if we got any. We do not have any video comments yet, but definitely if you want your voice heard, got to keep it clean. Got to be over 18 years of age. Put it in, scan the code, and hey, let's ask questions and we'll answer it. Also
Yeah.
leave it in the comment section too. If hey, where do you think this player is going to go in free agency? Hey, we'll give you a good non-biased uh you know a good non-biased reply answer to it.
Yeah.
Will KC repeat next year? I mean, it's always a possibility in my eyes because I mean, as long as you got Patrick Mahomes, Travis Kelsey, and that offensive line, I mean, and
Yeah.
depending on what they do on defense and try to keep that defense intact, I don't see why not they can't repeat. What about you,
Yeah.
Cy?
Yeah, I mean they got just as good a chance as anybody. I mean, when you again we're talking about Patrick Mahomes. I mean the
Right.
one constant, in Super Bowl winners, you got to have an elite quarterback. Most cases, there's some outliers like Trent Dilfer and Brad Johnson. You got those so. Even stretching back to Jim McMahon. But for the most part, you got to have an elite quarterback. And I think when you have the best quarterback, I don't even think that's an argument at this point.
Now that Brady
Patrick Mahomes,
retired, absolutely, he definitely
yeah,
is one of the best quarterbacks in the league right now.
yeah. In my eyes, he's the best quarterback. I think they got a serious chance. I think that the Chiefs also got to consider. I think they're going to have some salary cap hell to go through. I think it's some restructures coming up. Deals
Oh yeah,
that they're going to have to take a look at. But it's brilliant what they were able to do. As much juice as they got out of that, well, it was never a lemon, but out of the fruit that they squoze. So anyway, yeah, I think they have a great chance. I mean, you got some upcoming teams in the AFC. You have to look out for the Bills. That's a contender. The Bengals, the legitimate contenders to the throne. Even the Chargers, if they can get there, if that doesn't happen with Jacksonville, I just don't. I was still mind blown by that
that was
meltdown. But
crazy.
Yeah, but and what do all those teams have in common? Elite quarterback play.
Yeah,
So yeah, I think they could win it. I think they could go back. They got Patrick Mahomes, man.
absolutely. Cool guy
Unbelievable.
Funhouse says, "Would you like Aaron Rodgers as your quarterback?" Me
Who's that?
personally, well, okay. Are we getting the actual player or are we getting the actual person? Because the person absolutely is a hard pass. No, I don't want that guy nowhere near my
Right.
organization. Now, the athlete, the player, yeah, I wouldn't mind him. I mean, goes back to what Cy just got done saying. Elite quarterback play.
Yeah.
You know, yeah, I'm a Lions fan. He's a Packer, but I got to give my flowers where the flowers are due. And Aaron Rodgers is one of the best quarterbacks in you know,
To ever do it.
yeah, to ever do it. I mean, granted, yeah, he only has one ring and this, that, the other, but look at the franchise that he plays for. They don't want to draft him
Yeah.
pieces.
Yeah,
They
man.
give him crumbs and say, "Here, go be an
See.
MVP."
Yeah. And that's what people don't take into consideration. I say, yeah, I mean, I do get the emphasis should rightfully be placed on championships, but it's not the only thing.
Right.
Because there are organizational failures that occur every year, and us being Detroit Lions fans, for instance, we've had some of the greatest players ever, yet we never built around them. Not properly, didn't give them the support. So those are organizational, just as well as I say, organizational failures, organizational things, ties that tie into winning as well. So, Aaron Rodgers, you know, I admire his skill set, but like you say, from the character standpoint,
Yeah.
prima donna, just kind of arrogant, to say the least. Nah, we don't need him in Detroit. You know,
Yeah. I mean,
I think
I
he
I
was.
still think that the Jets is probably his best option. They're in
For
a win
sure.
now mode. They just need a quarterback. Sorry, Zach Wilson, you're just not it. You
Yeah,
know, no hard feelings, but hey, it's just one of those things. When you can upgrade the quarterback position, you do it. You
yeah.
know. What's up, Tom Hood? Hey, good night, Brandon. Hopefully you have a wonderful night, brother. Bring in your comment real quick. Appreciate you, Brandon.
Hmm.
But yeah, absolutely. Tom Hood also says Chargers still have Staley, so I don't like their
Brandon Staley.
chances. Yeah,
Yeah,
I mean, yeah.
yeah.
I mean,
And
I feel like some coaches don't need to be head coaches. They just need to stay in their lane a little bit
offensive
and be
coordinator,
an
be a
offensive
coordinator.
coordinator. I think
Yeah,
that's his ceiling is an offensive coordinator. I mean, head coaching is not for everybody,
no.
and it kind of stinks, but I think that's why there was a lot of validity to the uh the Chargers trying to go after uh Sean Payton.
Hmm. It
I
matters.
think there's a lot of validity behind that.
Yeah, and see, going back to the Super Bowl, I know we closed it out, but um, because it was such a great matchup, I thought Philadelphia did have a lot of they had a lot of advantages. It was very close, but I just said it came down to two things: quarterback play. They Chiefs had the advantage, and
Yeah.
head coach they had the advantage. And guess what? I mean, I wish you guys could have been there on our other channel, because that's what I said that I thought it would come down to, and that's why I gave the nod to the Chiefs. So yeah, sometimes being a head coach, because you're a great coordinator. I think people like it's been many examples of great coordinators, but they were crap head coaches. Because head
Yep.
coach has you got to manage a lot more. Personalities, personnel decisions, whereas a specialist, a coordinator is only working with that particular
Side of the
aspect
field.
of the
Yeah.
football team, and the
Yep.
head coach, waters it down. So, hey, trust me, I even when Ben Johnson in Detroit was thinking about leaving, I mean, it's only 32 of those positions, so
Yeah.
I wouldn't have been mad if he had accepted it.
Oh,
However, maybe he knows his strength too, because you've been an offensive coordinator for 1 year.
yeah,
So, pump your
absolutely.
brakes a little bit. Yeah.
Connor Elliott, what's going on, brother? Hey, what is going on? Hopefully, you are having a great day. Hey, Connor is a Bear fan, so hey,
Woo.
leave it in the scan the QR code, put it in the video chat. Who you ask this question? Who do you want the Bears to sign? Things of that nature. We're going over the free agency list right now, and uh, or if you have somebody that you'd like on the team, put it in the video chat, and we'll bring it in. Keep it clean. We do keep a clean channel, but hey, come on in, brother.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, man, the Bears are another example of constant organizational failures, man. I mean, it's just, I
Hey,
don't root for them, obviously.
I am not sleeping on those guys. They
On the
got
Bears?
yes, sir. They got the most money to spend. They
Oh, yeah.
have also uh so many draft picks as well. Like they
Yeah.
they are in a prime spot as
Yeah.
long as they can keep the core guys. Obviously, they got to build an offensive line for Justin Fields so he can give him time to throw the football because you can't have your quarterback run for his life every single play. You're not
Right.
going to win football games that way. I
Yeah.
mean, yeah, granted, be a mobile quarterback, things of that nature. If you got to move the chains, you got to move the chains. But he's a quarterback. He has to have time to throw the football. So
Big trucks.
they have to build an offensive line. Get maybe another wide receiver. Get some defensive players. They got rid of a lot of players during the trade deadline and during the offseason, and you know start rebuilding this thing. This is year one of a teardown. Next year is going to be the rebuild, and then the year after that, it's going to be hey, division titles, conference titles, Super Bowl. This is the
Yeah.
same position that the Lions are going in this year. Ours is playoffs, division titles, and try to get it to the Super Bowl.
Yeah.
I wouldn't put us that much pressure on us with Super Bowl. I think that could be like next year or the following year. But playoffs and division titles is definitely a must this year.
Yeah. The division definitely has to go to Detroit.
What's
I
up,
saw,
Richard Carr?
yeah, I see a comment here from Clinton. Clinton Simmons, he said, Trubisky to the Jets. Is that an upgrade? Not
Um,
happen. Just putting it out
I
there.
I don't think it's an upgrade. Um, I think it's a very reliable backup, especially if you go out and say try to make a move, say for Aaron Rodgers. I think if you
Yeah.
have Aaron Rodgers and then Mitchell Trubisky backing him up, um, Mike White is a free agent. So it
Mhm.
depends on how you want to go. Do you want to go Mike White? Do you want to go Mitch Trubisky? I think Mitch is a very good, reliable backup. He showed that in spades with the Buffalo Bills, but as a starter with the Chicago Bears, with the Pittsburgh Steelers, he's not really been that guy. I would actually put Zach Wilson with all of his arrogantness and selfishness actually ahead of him as a starter.
Mhm.
But as a backup, I think it's a heck of a backup.
Yeah.
You can always use a Mitch Trubisky as a backup.
Yeah. I don't think that's the right team for him. Because of Zach Wilson, is still a
Right,
he's
right.
still a member of the roster. You unless you're upgrading from him, which a clear upgrade would be an Aaron Rodgers, you don't want to. Again, I keep talking about create a quarterback
Quarterback.
controversy
Yes,
because you
sir.
saw how well Mike White played, and Joe Flacco played, and how poorly Zach Wilson played. It just created some it just an ambiguous situation. You know, it wasn't defined. So
Yeah.
I think, for all the crap that Zach Wilson gets, I still think the guy is a extremely talented young quarterback that you don't give up on. I mean, it is a change in philosophy. You had a couple of you got his head coach as a defensive coach, and
Yeah.
now you got a new offensive coordinator, so it's going to set him back even more. So yeah, it's some maturing that needs to happen there. But as far as skills is concerned, arm talent, IQ, I mean, you clean up that maturity, man. When it comes, I think somebody's gonna find a nice player on the street. That's just my opinion. 2 or
Absolutely.
3 years. So yeah, that was a good question though. Trubisky
Absolutely.
to answer it, yeah, I don't think he's the right quarterback for the Jets.
Cool guy Funhouse says Rogers needs Devontae Adams. That's why he was so good. They had that chemistry.
For
Yeah, I
sure.
mean, but in the same token, like he was starting to find that chemistry with Christian Watson. That was like his next Devontae Adams. But to have a Devontae Adams with the Christian Watson, and to kind of have like that little flex with or slot receiver with a Randall Cobb, and then to
Mhm.
learn from those three a what's his name, Doobie or whatever, um, number 87 for the Packers, the wide
Oh,
receiver,
Dobbs. Yeah,
Dobbs. There
Romeo
we go.
Dobbs. Yeah.
Yeah, Romeo Dobbs. I
Right.
mean, that right there already looks like a formidable receiving core. And then you add Alan Lazard. So, and
Yeah.
then you still got a Torre. So it's like you had had such a beautiful wide receiving core for an Aaron Rodgers.
Yeah.
For them to go through what they did, it was just like, what in the world did you guys just do? Like, you could have been set.
Yeah.
Now here you are. The
Yeah.
Lions put you out, and
Yeah.
we still own you 3-1. So
Yeah.
how you like them apples?
Yeah, for sure, man. But see now, but we got to kind of back that up too, right? Because he says
Yeah,
Rodgers needed Devontae Adams. Let's not forget Aaron Rodgers demanding that almost $50 million a year put
yeah,
them in a situation where you had to pay your quarterback who was
right.
coming off an MVP season. He wanted to take you to the tool shed, work you out, and he lost his number one receiver. Therefore, what happened? They had to draft some wide receivers and Christian Wood and Romeo Dobbs. So it was just a chain of events, chain reaction, and that's the first time Green Bay had done that in many many years, even though they still hadn't drafted a wide receiver in the first round.
Yeah,
So yeah, it was a chain of events. So yeah, I agree with that comment. That definitely was something. But see that kind of makes you question what actually happened in Las Vegas.
yeah,
Because you're talking about Derek Carr, Devontae Adams, who was arguably the best receiver in the NFL, and they played at college together.
yeah.
And they couldn't get, I mean, it was still a decent 1-2 punch quarterback to wide receiver, but it wasn't as dynamic as I thought it would be. So
You know what I gotta
something's
say?
wrong there. Is it the receiver? Or is it the quarterback?
I think it is the head coach. I think it is
See,
that
there you
Patriot
go.
stuff.
There
I
you go.
mean, when you got a guy that comes from the Bill Belichick tree, Lion fans know it first-handedly. A lot of organizations that went this route, Cleveland's went that route, and it didn't pan out. And because everybody is trying to be like Bill, you cannot be Bill. There's only one Bill Belichick. Be yourself. Yes,
Yeah.
bring some of his teachings, but be yourself. Have his kind of demands of, hey, you got to play the right way. Hey, you got to do this. Hey, you got to do that. That's going to put us in the best position possible. But you also got to cater to the players that you have. Derek Carr showed he's a franchise quarterback. So how did he regress? It has to be one and one only thing. Either it's your
Yeah,
offensive coordinator or it's your head coach.
yeah,
Because you helped him technically by adding his college teammate.
yeah,
You know, so for me, it has to be coaching, and I think
yeah.
that's the reason why. Tom Hood does say Rogers to the Raiders kind of makes sense. I think
Uh,
so, uh,
makes a lot of sense. Tons of sense.
but I don't know if they're going to go that route because Rogers is not a Patriot. You know, I think they might try to target a Patriot quarterback, and you know who I think that they're going to try and target? Jimmy Garoppolo,
Mm,
because he came from that offense. He's worked with the head coach now, and a reunion could be possible. At least as a bridge quarterback till, they might go out in the draft and draft a quarterback. Until that quarterback is ready, maybe you sign a Jimmy Garoppolo.
that
He's
makes
what,
sense.
30 years old or something like that, 31 years
Yeah,
old. So, I mean, he's
yeah,
still just barely reaching his peak.
yeah. Well, I I do like what Tom Hood said. Makes tons of sense.
It does.
Reunited and it feels so good. It was a song about that, and I think there's a chance that it could happen.
But the
Aaron
only thing
Rodgers and
is,
Devontae Adams
they
is
would have to
something
get
else.
rid of their running back though in Josh Jacobs because he's a free
Yeah,
agent. So if
he
you're adding
is.
$50 million to that roster, somebody's got to go.
Yeah, yeah, for sure.
So I mean, that's why I've always been a firm believer: be careful what you wish for, because you know if you got a dominant running back, you can't really add that free agent guy. But if you could get, say, a Jimmy G for, say, nickels on the dollar, well,
Yeah,
I could go draft my quarterback. I got a bridge guy, and I could keep my running back and keep the number one receiver in the league. And,
yeah,
I at least have a basis.
yeah, for
Bears
sure.
signed Nelson, wide receiver Aguilar, Nelson from the Patriots. Oh, yeah, Nelson Aguilar. Um, I could see
I'm gonna
that.
tell you. Let me chime in here if
Okay,
you
go
don't
ahead.
mind, Mr. Trox.
Oh, yeah.
The thing is, you do. I mean, I get the whole receiver angle, but because of your style of quarterback or the Bears, I should say, I'm not sure who Montana Fox's team is. Um, let's look at the curious case of the Baltimore Ravens, right? You keep getting this guy receivers. You draft Marquise Brown. You try to get this guy number one wide receivers, but you know what the problem with Lamar Jackson is? Sorry, just gonna call it. He can't throw the ball accurately down the field. So I'm not going to say that the young quarterback out of Ohio State, what's his name, Justin, whatever his name is
Justin
for the
Fields.
Bears, Justin Fields. He seems to be a little more from the Ohio State perspective, seeing that he was competent in throwing the ball, getting the ball downfield. But until they change their style of play with that power run scheme, they could go and get Jerry Rice, bro. If you can't get the wide receiver the ball, then your scheme is not predicated towards, down the field play of your wide receivers. I think it's just a waste. Why dump, big money into it? So that's Nelson Aguilar. They're not they're not what's going to break the bank. But
Right.
I don't think the problem is with the wide receivers. I think it's that old line and Justin Fields' style of play. That's just my opinion.
Yeah, I could see that. I mean, their biggest thing before they go wide receivers, running backs, tight ends, things
O
of that
line.
nature offensively is they got to address that offensive line.
Right.
Protect Justin Fields. You don't want a situation where you have a Tua situation on your hand where the man can't even
Mhm.
stay upright because he's getting concussed every time he's taking a snap.
Sure.
You're going to shorten your career. You're going to shorten your franchise quarterback, and
Yeah.
it's not a recipe for success. We do have a video message I want to bring in by Connor. So here we go with our first video comment.
First one.
What up, Trav? Studio is looking pretty good. Obviously, shout out to Opus. Thank you so much for giving it a try, finally, man. It looks great. You got so much going on there on the screen. Big fan of the show. My football related question to you is what do you think the Chicago Bears are going to do with the number 1 overall pick? I would love to hear your thoughts. Thanks, man. Have a good one, and peace out.
Okay. So the first
Sweet.
overall pick. I mean, well, there's two things that I'm going to say with the Chicago Bears. One, if there's no trade partner to trade back where you can still get your guy, you go and draft Jalen Carter. Or if you want, instead of a middle guy, you can go on the edge and go get a Will Anderson Jr. I think one of those two players needs to be a Chicago Bear. Now, my thought would be you trade back with a team that might need a quarterback. So, I mean, you move back, you get some extra draft capital. You know, you got extra money, so obviously adding some more extra picks, cheaper contracts. Now you can kind of go and still get depth and also get your guys in free agency. And if I don't get one of those two guys, we've been talking a lot about protecting your quarterback. I would go and try and target Terrence Osiris, Osiris Terrence, the offensive guard. I believe he is from Tennessee, I believe. But Osiris
From
Terrence.
Florida.
Oh,
Yeah,
Florida.
from
I'm sorry. Yep. I mean, one of the best offensive linemen in this draft. You protect your quarterback. You have Borum. You have Tevin Jenkins. You'd have Osiris. I mean, that's 3 top guys. Now you only are left with 2 more guys to put your offensive line set for your quarterback, because you got to get an offensive line so Justin Fields could be the Justin Fields that everybody knows from Ohio State. I feel like Justin Fields can break the Ohio State curse. He is that talented. But if you do not put an offensive line, he is never going to live up to that. But on the flip side, obviously I'm a former defensive player. So obviously, I love my defensive guys. So, I mean, if you get a Will Anderson Jr., if you get a Jalen Carter, those 2 guys are can't miss. Another thing I would do is try to get maybe 2 first-round draft picks for the 1 first round. So, like, you move back and then try to pick up another first-rounder and try and get a Jalen Carter or a Will Anderson Jr. and then pair them up with a Osiris Terrence. In the mid round of the first round. That way you get your offensive line and defensive line where games are won and lost in the trenches. Get at least one guy on both sides in the opening round.
Well, I think we're coming to the same conclusion, but I think my reason is a little different than yours.
Okay.
Just looking at the draft, it's really, to me, it's 3 true blue chip players there, which would be Will Anderson, Jalen Carter, and Bijan Robinson. I mean, just those are the blue chips. It's 3 of them in this draft. And for the Bears' sake, there's no need to get cute, bro. I subscribe to the belief, and we've covered this at other times, Trox. I think the most important position on the field is quarterback, and they already have the quarterback.
Yeah.
The second most important position on the football field, in my opinion, is edge rusher. That is that is designed to go and stop the most important position on the field. So to me, it's a no-brainer for the Chicago Bears. The most devastating pass rusher in the draft is Will Anderson. Jalen Carter is cool. I think he's great. There's nothing wrong with him. I would love for my Detroit Lions to get him, but for what the Bears need, what they have, I mean, there's no other tackles that are going to register. You could even try to move back, but that's what I say. Sometimes you can be too smart. This is a blue chip. There's 3 of them at this time. Maybe when we go through the combine, maybe somebody else will emerge, but the tape don't lie, my man. And this is premium against premium competition. I just think you set it, forget it, run that card up, and be done. Move on to the next one. So that's my opinion.
Absolutely. I like that too. I mean, but like I said, you get that offense or defensive guy, and if you can move back and still get a Will Anderson Jr., say third overall pick, you let the Colts say get the first overall pick. If they can give you something where you can move up and get a mid first rounder with a trade up in, I mean, hey, Will Anderson Jr., Osiris Terrence, you can't miss with those two in the first round. That's a plus draft pick for the Chicago Bears.
Sure.
Montana Fox says for the Bears, what about offensive tackle Caleb McGarry from the Atlanta Falcons? I mean, that definitely could be a possibility. I mean, I know Tevin Jenkins plays offensive tackle, so opposite of him, I mean, I would do something like that. Even if it's for a depth guy, like, you can never have too many offensive linemen, because those are the hog mollies. Those are the guys that play almost every down. They get the nastiest eye pokes, low chip blocks and things like that. So, you can never have too many offensive linemen. So I absolutely, I would definitely target Caleb McGarry.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I don't have anything to add to that one.
Bears O-line been soft for years. Happy to see the change of coaching out in Arizona. Kingsbury was killing me with the stale offense. Well, see, with Kingsbury, his offensive line was never set. I mean, yeah, you got guys, this, that, the other, but it was never a scheme fit with the offensive line. Yeah. With a air raid offense, you need pass protectors. Mm-hmm. You might have had maybe about 3, maybe 4 pass protectors. And you need at least 5. So you never were able to have the depth that you need and the starters that you need. We had a lot of actual power guys that just, bully you. Those aren't pass protectors. Pass protectors, they can protect your quarterback and quick enough to where if a guy's rushing, they can get out and get the other guy that's rushing, where you pass the other guy off to your teammate, and then that guy will pass his guy off to the tight end, and then you have some penetration there. So it was never a scheme fit like the air raid offense. You have got to have the proper offensive line, and that's what killed Cliff Kingsbury with the Arizona Cardinals. And then not demanding excellence out of your quarterback. Your quarterback should not be thinking about Call of Duty when it is the regular season. If you think about Call of Duty before the while the regular season is playing, you need to hit the bench because you're not starting for my franchise. Yeah. So there was so much that just went on with the Arizona Cardinals that, as a Cardinal fan, like, that irritated the living dog daylights out of me.
But what's the alternative? I mean, because you guys got Jonathan Gannon, a defensive coach.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
And who's going to be his OC? Yeah. I just think, what everything you said was absolutely spot on, Trox. I get that, but I just question, what do you do with the components you have now? Because you have a very particular quarterback. Go ahead.
See, what I would have done was not hire Rich Gannon. I would have went Jonathan Gannon. I would have went Eric Bieniemy as the head coach. Why? Because he fits what the Arizona Cardinals are trying to do. You have the pieces already in place. You have a quote unquote small version of a Patrick Mahomes. If and it's a huge if, Kyler Murray can stop playing video games during the season. Save that for your off season while you're trying to get better.
Yeah.
Save it for that. I mean,
I'm
play
with you.
maybe an hour or two. Go out there and hit the gym a couple times. You do that, there's no
Study that
Arizona Cardinal
playbook.
fan that will ever complain about you, because why? You're all in during the season. In the off season, yes, you give yourself time to play your video games, but you're still working on getting better on your craft.
Yeah.
No Arizona Cardinal fan will ever complain about you. So, Kyler Murray, please listen to this. Do what you need to do to better yourself at your actual job, because there's not a job for you in the video game world. You can market stuff, yes, but you're a quarterback. You're a top-rated quarterback. You got a phenomenal skill set.
Yeah.
You're gonna get paid, dude. Like,
Yeah.
do what you need to do to better your craft. You know, and I feel that's why an Eric Bieniemy, a quarterback whisperer, I think would have been absolutely amazing. But
I agree,
then
man.
again, if Eric is not ready to take that next step,
Why?
yeah, you
Why
throw
would he
him.
not be ready? Why would he? It defies conventional wisdom. We're not going to get into
Well,
why he isn't being hired. But the
well, no,
thing
right?
that
No,
I think the Cardinals are screwing themselves. It's an organizational failure. When you go and get a Jonathan Gannon, you go and get a defensive head coach.
You got to remember one thing though. Arizona's in a world of trouble as is. Like, they're gonna have to trade D Hop, and your next best wide receiver is dealing with legal issues and Hollywood Brown. So you're already going to be down two receivers. So, and then you have the retirement of JJ Watt. So I mean, they got a lot of stuff to deal with. So I mean, that's why I was saying, well, if he's not ready to take that next step, well, okay, throw Rich Gannon there for a year like he did with Steve Wilkes, which I was super mad about that firing, because I feel like Steve Wilkes could have done something with this organization.
Yeah.
And that would give him enough time. That give him enough time to be like, hey, look, we got the pieces in place for you now. Are you ready? Okay, well, let's go. You know, here's an open checkbook. You write your own number there, and that's what your contract is going to be. Because I think Eric Bieniemy is going to tear up the league as a head coach
if he ever gets a chance. So
yeah, well, the NFL did say that they're going to change their rules about head coaching hiring. So,
with the Rooney Rule.
Yeah, they're gonna be changing that, and it's about time. They need to stop this stuff. I don't believe in the token hiring or the token interview, I should say.
Oh yeah, affirmative action essentially for the NFL, right?
If the man is qualified, regardless of whatever pigmentation you got in your skin, if you have the required attributes to lead a organization, because guess what? 90% of this league is what pigmentation. So who can get the most out of your player's talent?
See, this is, and let's not even go there. That's a slippery slope, right? I'll say this is all about relation, just in my opinion. Why you have successful organizations, when you start talking about this demographic, this particular culture, whatever this sect of people is, who can they directly relate to? Somebody a little bit younger, probably from the same culture. So that's why you have so many people in place, like assistant coaches, that, you know, these position coaches, they can go to them, it becomes an uncle, it becomes a father. But see, the disconnect happens when you're talking about the upper echelon of leadership and ownership down. Well, those people can more so relate to, and their hiring practice, again, it's about relationship. They could better relate to, you know, Jonathan Gannon than they can Cy Gray. And that's just the brutal truth. Even though my football IQ could be out of this world, all of my qualifications, previous player, I could have that. But the one thing we don't have is when the cameras are off, and when I go to my home, I'm going to a totally different place than you. So I just think that's fundamentally a problem because the relationship, the divide is just there. It's society kind of infiltrating everything that we do. And while I think it's jacked up, I think it's a lot of people that are brilliant football minds, more than capable. They never get a chance just because of how society is. So I don't want to get too deep into it. I want to keep this on the up and up. It's been a great broadcast. So, and I'm not becoming emotional about it. I just think it's nothing else you can do. You know, you identify the problem, you try to build a bridge, but hey, not everybody's willing to come across that bridge. So your sensibility, my sensibility, and I'm sure the majority of the people in the chat may see it the same way, or they have their opinions, but the powers that be, they just don't. And I'm not even criticizing them because inherently, I don't think that they're, let's just use the R word. I don't think they are just that. You can't be in business when you're surrounded by so many people that you really hate. So I don't think it's a hate thing. I just think it's a relationship thing, and not being able to relate to Eric Bieniemy when he walks into the office, but you can relate to Jonathan Gannon. So I think that's more of the issue.
Yeah. And I could definitely agree with that as well. Also, I heard Ryan Tannehill might go to the Jets. I don't know if that's a good fit either. I mean, going back to what you were saying, with even Mitch Trubisky, I don't think it's really a good fit with Ryan Tannehill, especially if they're going to go after a Aaron Rodgers. I think that's the number one guy on their to-do list is get Aaron Rodgers. So if that's the case, I don't see Ryan Tannehill. I could actually see Ryan Tannehill possibly going to the Houston Texans. They need some structure over there. Ryan Tannehill could possibly be that guy. Over there, kind of give that mentor leadership over there for whether it's Davis Mills or another rookie. Just get over there. You're the oldest player over there. Basically, you're going to teach them. Hey, this is how you take the next step as a quarterback, and this is what's going to be asked of you as a starter because I've started in this league. So he has that type of knowledge of like, hey, this is what you do as a starter. Hey, I got backup history too, so this is what you do as a backup. And he could be that leader in the locker room that way. Now, does he want to be that guy? Obviously, he didn't want to be the guy with Malik Willis because he still wants to start. So, I mean, and I could see him starting a little bit over with the Houston Texans too. So, there's possibly that as well.
Yeah, it totally makes no sense. Again, you want a clear upgrade from what you have. And again, I don't think the cupboard's bare with the Jets. With Zach Wilson, I just think, he really needs a mentor. You could say Ryan Tannehill is mentor-ish, but his skill set, I think they go to practice and Zach Wilson is going to, it'll blow him away, so it's hard for the coach. I think Aaron Rodgers is almost Aaron Rodgers a bust for the Jets.
Yeah.
If not, just stay the course, stick with Zach Wilson and get a competent backup or something like that, and let it be, or meant a Jacoby Brissett would work more with the Jets versus, thinking you're going to bring in like Ryan Tannehill or something like that.
Right.
If that makes sense,
Oh, man. Cool Guy Funhouse and Tom Hood. Hey, no one wants tricks biscuits, LOL. No risk and no true biscuits, LOL.
No
Y'all
no
are going. Hey, can I get a?
Come on, man.
Yeah.
Y'all can get
wide receiver. He could call her. I thought that was an excellent breakdown, though, Trox. I think like you said, maybe Mitch Trubisky or Tannehill could go to like the Texans. I think that they're great bridge quarterbacks.
Absolutely. While NFL season was crazy, thanks Trox for what you do. Go Browns. Hey, appreciate that, save soul. Hey, Browns are gonna, if they can figure out with the Deshaun Watson situation, if they can figure out how to tap that potential back into him, yeah, man, that's gonna be one scary team. Because I think he still has it. It's just I think he's just been away from the game for a little too long, to where
Correct.
he still has a little bit of that rust. I think once he shakes that rust, man, this is why you gave him the bag, the proverbial threw the bag at him. It is because of this coming up year and therefore on.
Right.
Adams went their 4 car. Yeah, absolutely. And for them to kind of do what they just did to Adams is just like, what's worse? What Aaron Rodgers did to Adams with the Packers, or what the team did to Adams with Carr?
Yeah.
It's just like,
I don't
it's
know if that's
crazy.
completely true, but yeah, I think it was the best landing spot for him because you remember they just extended Derek Carr.
Yeah.
So it was
Yeah.
the best landing. Let's go to my old college teammate. We were, teammates and roomies in college, but nobody saw that Derek Carr was going to be released a year later.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So it was just like NFL is not for long. I mean, it's good today and not so good tomorrow. So what had Devontae Adams gone had it not been there? So yeah, I get your point. I understand the sentiment, cool guy, but I don't think it was solely for that. Just my opinion.
Absolutely. Someone's going to pay way too much for Jimmy G. Game manager always getting hurt.
Yeah,
Um, yeah. I mean, it depends on contract size. Like with Jimmy G, I would give him like a Jared Goff contract,
yeah,
$20 million, a year.
yep, yeah,
And that's why I feel like, Jimmy G, $20 million with the Raiders. He kind of knows that system. He got some players over there, Darren Waller, uh, 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 Renfro, and then Adams, and then if they can bring back Jacobs for the run game, I mean, hey, at
it's
that point,
affordable
fix your offensive line and add more pieces to the defense, and in the way you go, you're going to be right back in the thick of things.
for sure.
Talk about getting no help from wide receivers for Lamar. Man, Lamar Jackson,
No,
I feel bad for that kid.
yeah,
I mean, yeah, we always make fun of him as a glorified running back because obviously that's the way he kind of plays. Uh, but a lot of that has to deal with offensive coordinator and general manager. They get this man some receivers and keep him. There was no reason why Mike Cardinal should have got Hollywood Brown. Hollywood Brown should have been in Baltimore majority of his career.
already. We spoke about it earlier, dude. I just don't think the problem is with the wide receivers, man. The problem is Lamar Jackson. It's like the best and worst thing. You get this dude as a former MVP, unanimous MVP.
Yeah,
He's special with his legs, but like I said, man, problem is with Lamar Jackson is just the inability to consistently throw the ball down the field. So
yeah,
you can go get Megatron, you can get Jerry Rice, Megatron, Randy Moss, and whoever else. If the man can't get the ball down the field accurately, and on time, it's all for naught. So that's just my
yeah.
opinion about that.
I
So it's
definitely agree with that.
Funhouse. Yeah. It
My take on
says maintain Jimmy G a little too fragile. Yeah, I think that was an interesting take, to go like to Vegas for Jimmy G or even going to New Orleans. I think that would be a great fit for Jimmy G.
I
You
think
know,
actually, I think if I am the New Orleans Saints, I am throwing everything I can at Derek Carr. I think it fits with what they got.
all right.
They can add more. Obviously, I'm always going to tell every single team, all 32 teams, you can always add more offensive linemen because if you can't protect your quarterback, you're going to have you're not going to be successful. You win
Yeah,
games and lose games in the trenches. Offensive line, defensive line, always add players.
right,
I don't.
for sure.
If there's a year you don't add an offensive lineman and a defensive lineman, you failed that year. because every year you should be adding at least one player.
Yeah.
But I think the Saints I think is the best position for Derek Carr. You got a top tier wide receiver in Chris Olave. You got we don't know what's going on with their running back in
Alvin Kamara.
Yeah, Alvin Kamara. We don't know what's going on with him because obviously he didn't get disciplined last year. So now whatever happens, he'll be disciplined this year. So obviously he's going to have that little bit of stint where he might not play. But then again, if he is cleared, he'll probably have like maybe up to 6 games, kind of AKA the suspension, like a D Hop. And if they can work their cap, D Hop is going to be gone off the Cardinals. So, if you can work your cap good, you can add a Derek Carr, give a D Hop. You got a Chris Olave. I mean, look at that team now. Like, they'll be right into the thick of things.
Yeah.
So I mean, I really could see that Derek Carr going to the Saints.
Yeah. No issues there. Ravens need to pay Lamar. Yes,
Absolutely.
I agree with that 100%.
Hey, Shemar Young, welcome, new subscriber. Appreciate you. Huh?
Yeah. Family. That's family.
Oh, that's family? Hey, appreciate you. Hey, that's what's up.
Appreciate you, Shamar.
Jay Fields is an all-in fantasy this year. I mean, I would definitely pick him. I mean, he wasn't bad this past year, and
not bad. I think he was top 5, right?
Yeah. He had a couple of 40-point games, 50-point games.
Yeah, man.
So I mean,
man. It's that dual threat, man. See, the dual threat is great for fantasy. It just comes up short, and in the real world,
right? Well, a lot of that though, I feel is like, because in real world he doesn't really have an offensive line, so we really don't see that dual threat aspect of it, of him throwing the football. Where we see the dual threat of it is via the run game. We see him taking off and getting these yards and the touchdowns and stuff like that. But like, they got to do something though, like with that offensive line. They got to get better. Because I feel like Justin Fields could be the next best thing since sliced bread if they get an offensive line, and that's what scares me as a Lion fan. Is if they do get themselves an offensive line, they do get themselves at least one more receiver, fix up that defense. Like, that is going to be nasty.
Yeah.
Hoping for a trade, though. Give us all the picks. Hey, absolutely.
Who was that?
Huh?
I'd say who was his team?
Oh, that's Chicago Bears.
Oh, okay, gotcha.
What if Murray plays Madden? Hey, if Murray plays Madden or Call of Duty or any other video game, I'm cutting him. Like, at this point, it's enough is enough. Like, you got to take your job serious. If I go to my 9-to-5 job, I mean, obviously right now YouTube is my 9-to-5, but before my accident, things like that, if I missed a certain amount of days, or I'm not all in when I'm there, you really think I'm going to get paid? No, they're going to give me a pink slip and say, take a hike, Jack, because you ain't worth nothing. You hardly here and you hardly work. What am I paying you for? Take a hike. Yeah. So, you got to be all in when you're working. You got to be all in, especially in the NFL. Because if you're not focused, especially with the quarterback position, you're going to get hit and you're going to get hurt. Because once they're able to hit you, they're already going to lay the wood. If you're not focused, they're going to be extra harder. And guess what? Now you just cost your team possibly a season. So
for sure,
you gotta be laser focused when you're playing in the National Football League. But that goes for all 33 positions. You know,
man.
offense, defense,
I
and
think
special teams.
special teams. Yeah, I think Kyler Murray, man. I think he had the love of the game clause in his original
Yeah,
contract, correct?
yeah,
Yeah. So I mean, look, dude, you want to give me 40 mil or whatever it is, whatever it equated to, man. It's not many things, ethically that I'm not gonna do. If that's all I have to do for a living is play football. And I'm not trying to say it's an easy thing. I think it is the most demanding position in all of sports. But if that's what I have to do and
yeah,
I'm being paid to do it, I'm going to do it. My grandmother always said a job worth doing is a job worth doing well. You got to do it. There's enough incentive there. Might as well do it the best of your ability. So if
absolutely.
that requires me for the next 10 years not to cut on a PlayStation and, you know, play Call of Duty or Madden or what have you, I'm going to do it, man. I'm going to do it. So, but it's
It
easy for
might
me to
hurt,
say
but I'm
because
gonna do it.
yeah, but I'm also sitting here with you, Trox. So, and I'm not making 40 mil a year. You know what I mean?
Right.
If I were, and so I can't directly relate to it, but it sounds good. Seems like it's easy. Maybe it's not. Who knows?
Right. The only good thing Murray did the last 2 years was a 20-second 2-point conversion. Yeah,
Yeah.
it's been rough. It has been rough. Love to watch him run and throw some of the prettiest balls. Yeah, I mean he does. He can throw the ball really really well and take off. It's just once Call of Duty comes out, it's like you get a totally different guy. It's like Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde. It's frustrating.
It's that serious with the guy, huh?
Bro, like
Yeah.
come
I didn't know that.
I'll send you some screenshots of his stats. You'd be like,
Yeah.
"Oh, like I would rather have who is the worst quarterback in the league right now?" I will have Nathan Peterman than Kyler Murray when Call of Duty comes out.
Oh wow. Yeah.
I
Well.
mean, it is that bad. Like Dr.
Yeah.
Jekyll and Mr. Hyde, like that's him.
Yeah.
Tale
Yeah.
of two tapes.
Yeah, man. That's sad. Yeah, a lot of love going on. Yeah, guys. Let's don't forget to hit that like button before you get out of here.
Absolutely. Would definitely appreciate that. Hey, that's what's up. I love that rain,
Yeah.
the rain emoji. That is so
Yeah.
cool.
Yeah.
Uh
For
Brown's
sure.
gonna be tough. Absolutely. Cool guy, Funhouse. Absolutely. Blaze Radio, what's up, brother? What's up, Herbert? Herbert Saunders says Saints are 55 million over the cap. I don't know how they can sign Carr. Yeah, I mean that's
Yeah,
why I said like
that's
if
more
they
family right there.
oh for real. Hey, that's what's up. I
Yes, sir.
appreciate you, Herbert.
Yeah, that's my brother
But
right there. Yeah.
yeah, I mean, like I said earlier, if they can work the cap, get themselves at least a good amount. I mean, obviously, guys would have to take either pay cuts, restructure contracts, or redo their entire contract. If they could do
Yeah.
stuff like that to hey, look, we're trying to make some moves so we can try to win you a Super Bowl. You know,
Yeah.
I'm sure that there's going to be guys that are going to be like, well, if you could get me these guys, I'll
Yeah.
do it. You know,
Yeah.
if you don't, I'm not going to do it because obviously, you know, at that point they're going to want their bag, and it's their God given right. If they're playing and they play at a high level, like that's their God given right. They put the time in,
I,
they put the energy in. You know,
I
go
think
get
the
paid.
Saints just need to blow it up, man, because they got a lot of premium
Players and
players,
yeah,
in positions minus the quarterback. So I think that's a fair point. I mean, you have to have a capologist there, figure
yeah,
out, who's the most important pieces of the puzzle. Are you looking to, you know, move forward? Do you think you can actually win now with that roster? Or if you can, then you want to start trimming, some unnecessary fat. But
right.
for me, looking at the Michael Thomas's contract,
Well, Michael
of
Thomas is going to
course,
be a free agent.
so he's gone. You
Yeah,
can't,
yeah, they're not going to
but
be
you
able to.
still,
Yeah,
but you're playing the defenses. My God, look at how much money is wrapped up into their defense. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? Cam Jordan makes a boatload.
At
Marshawn Lattimore,
33 years old, making that
and
type
he's
of money.
33.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. Marshawn Lattimore, you need him.
Yeah.
Demario Davis. It's a lot of money wrapped up into that side. Then you look at the other side of the ball. I mean, I even think they gave Taysom Hill a pretty generous contract
Yes,
too
they
for
did.
the time.
Yep.
So that's really a gimmick player. It's not traditional, but whatever. He's an H
And
back.
that's where a lot of like their mess ups has happened is
Yeah,
giving those gimmick players that type of cash. Like,
yeah,
look, you're not going to be a starter. like, let's get this fact straight. You're not going to be a starter.
yeah.
You're not a tight end.
Right.
Like you don't have one set ability. You know,
Yeah,
it's like you're a jack of all trades, but a master of none.
yeah,
And
for
that's
sure.
Taysom Hill in a nutshell.
Yeah.
A jack of all trades, he could do anything offensively, but he's not a master of anything.
No,
And
no. It's consistency, right? I mean, it's
exactly, yeah,
what am I getting every Sunday? It's a famous phrase that I always say between me and a buddy of mine who's actually on Herbert. But I say, "What's your superpower?"
yeah,
When I look to the draft, something I've told you, "What's your superpower? What do you do?" I'm looking for consistency. If you're one trick, but you could be, have other tricks up your sleeve, but what is it that you do particularly well that I can rely on along with your availability? You get what I'm saying? And Taysom is kind of a weird. I mean, he's kind of a one of one.
yeah.
Line up at tight end, quarterback, wide receiver, split them out. You do a lot of different things, but
Throw him at running back, fullback, like
yes, okay. I don't know. Not Debo Samuel, but it's something. You know,
right.
it's called
But
overpaid.
exactly, and that's their mistake. Like you can't do that and then expect to go and be cap happy where you're not exceeding that threshold a lot. I
Yeah,
mean,
for
yeah, you got
sure.
to get the players, but what do we see a lot of the times? We see teams that they'll get those kind of premium positions on decent deals with a
Yeah.
quarterback on a rookie scale contract. You know,
Mm-hmm.
obviously there's the times where you could get a Peyton Manning, you could get
Patrick Mahomes
a Patrick Mahomes, things like that.
draft.
But
Yeah, with the huge contract from Samuel.
right, exactly. But is it feasible and things like that? Where that's where it's going to be the hardest,
Yeah.
because of well, it might be time to get rid of these older guys.
Yeah.
If there's an out, you have to almost take those outs because you need that
Mm-hmm.
quarterback. You need that Derek Carr. Maybe you might not be able to get, say, a D Hop to pair up with a Chris Olave, but if you could free up that cap space to say go get the Derek Carr, you got to do that. I
Yeah.
mean, the perfect world would be you get Derek Carr and you get D Hop with Chris Olave.
Mm-hmm.
You know, that's a perfect world. Could it happen? I mean, they're going to have to go through a lot of cuts, and that's where guys like a Rod Wood for the Detroit Lions. I love this man. Like, yeah, we don't know his name a lot, and this, that, the other, but man, you look at our cap, and since he's taken over, the Lions has always had decent money each and every single year.
Yeah.
And that's his job is the cap, and his job is the marketing and hey, let's go get this here, let's go get that here. Rod was the one
Mm-hmm.
that got us the draft, which I will be
Mm-hmm.
at in 2024, next year's draft. I will be there.
Yeah. It'd be
So
nice.
thank you, Rod Wood. Appreciate you, brother.
Yeah. Will Sean Payton be able to get Russ cooking again?
I
Hey,
think so.
I believe so. I just look. He's now that was a power move.
Yeah.
You got an established. head coach, old school values. He's going to cut off again some of the fat, all of these perks, and he's an old school from the Parcells tree. No nonsense, but he's also innovative. Forward thinking. He understands
I mean,
play design. He's an offensive coach.
let's not forget though. He'll get down and throw a gritty with the fellas.
Oh yeah.
He'll
He
get down with
is.
them.
Man, listen, I think he's gonna have Russ cooking all over.
I
He's
think
gonna
so too.
recognize what his strengths are, and he's gonna tell him make that offense towards it. So
You know why?
Denver was
You know why
Denver
though?
is
Look who he coached
mhm,
prior to Russ though.
exactly
Drew
the
Brees, like
same thing. Small
same
quarterback.
type of build. Absolutely.
hmm Yeah, for
And that's
sure.
why I
So
say like Sean's. I think that was the perfect move right there.
oh, for sure. Yep. So yeah, I think the answer is a resounding yes. I expect
Absolutely.
Russ to be cooking again.
But
Yeah.
we did not get to the draft, so we'll probably save that for another night. Uh, if you guys want, we could go to question and answer, kind of like what we've been doing. Definitely leave a video comment if you can. The QR code is right there. If you haven't hit that thumbs up, definitely do so. But we're gonna be getting off here soon, so definitely get your comments in because definitely I love interacting with guys, and I'm sure I'm sure you're enjoying interacting with them as well.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Like I said, I'm the sort of a newbie to it, So again, thank you guys for embracing me. I got my own little objective opinions, about certain things. Some things you may agree with, some things you may not agree with, but is always welcome. I like for other people to come in and see what their opinions are because I see it my way, but I'm always learning. So absolutely.
Hey,
We got a
appreciate
salute.
that, Bishop.
Yeah.
Says
So
Fire Stream guys. Respect,
oh,
appreciate
nice,
that.
nice. Yep. So who does Detroit get on
Get on that defense. I mean, hey,
in a
I think
perfect
we
world?
both are. I think we're both in this perfect world. Jalen Carter. I think
Oh my God.
if we get him, I mean, hey,
How do
that's
we get him, Trox? Tell me, how do we get him? And let's close it out on this one. Thank you, cool guys from Funhouse. But how do we obtain his services?
how do we
What do you
obtain
think
his
is reasonable?
services? I mean, there is possibilities he could fall to six. Obviously, with the quarterback situations, um, you got about four top tier quarterbacks. They could go first four rounds. Those teams that don't need it could trade back, and then obviously we won't probably see Will Anderson. We probably uh, might not see uh, Miles Murphy, but that there could be a Jalen Carter that way, or you just say, you know what, I ain't taking no chances. I got 2 first-round draft picks. I got multiple second-round draft picks. I'll take both. I'll take a first round, a second round, and maybe next year's third. Hey, give us Jalen Carter. You can have these 3 picks, and I still got a first. I still got I still got a second. The only thing I don't have is a third next year. It's kind of
So
the a la the Jameson Williams type trade. Hey, we move a little
yeah.
bit. Hey, and then hey, maybe in the regular season we see something like that same team that trades us to move up for Jalen Carter. Maybe we scratch their back and give them a player before the trade deadline. I mean, I feel like that's what kind of the TJ Hawkinson trade in the season was. I think because they gave us uh, Jameson Williams. I think that we kind of scratched their back when their tight end went down. Hey, we got TJ Hawkinson.
Mm.
You want him? Yeah. Okay. Here we go. Let's get a deal done then.
So me and a buddy of mine, Herbert Saunders, we were discussing this just the other day, right? And of course, Jalen Carter is uh, both you and I definitely want him in Detroit because of our run defense. So
Yeah.
I said, look, my thing is again, I believe it's three blue chip players:
Yeah.
Jalen, Will Anderson, and Bijan Robinson, right? So we're not
That's
taking
another
Bijan
player.
Robinson at number 6. But my thing is, I think we should move up. I think we move up to 3, solidify, get Jalen Carter. Now, what is that going to cost? That's going to cost, to me, I feel, and you can tell me if this is expensive enough. We're going to essentially flip flop, 6 and 3. We move up to 3. So now they inherit the 6th pick.
Yeah.
And we throw in our high 2 second round
Yeah.
draft pick. I think that's enough to move up from 6 to 3. But my buddy was saying that no, it's going to require you to give up your 18 as well, your 2 first round draft picks to go up to number 3. I was like, 3 spots, that would blow the trade chart out of the water.
Yeah.
So,
From
I just think
trade value, I mean,
right,
I think that's way too rich because of the
too rich.
point system per draft pick.
Correct.
So I mean, I do think that, and if they want a little bit extra just to kind of like, hey, can we
Sweeten
get
the pot.
this? Yeah, I think that hey, we'll give you next year's third.
Yeah,
And I
absolutely.
think that's more than enough to
Yeah.
get Jalen Carter there.
Because that's what I say. If you have a chance to land a Jalen Carter, he
Yeah.
doesn't go in the first 2 picks, you need to be burning up that phone line. Go ahead and sacrifice a little bit of it because our run defense is atrocious.
And you know what you
But
can also do to make up
what's
some of
that?
that trade that we lost, that trade capital, the draft capital that we lost? You
Mm-hmm.
take 18 and move back.
Well spoken. Thank you. Thank you.
Because we still got the 18th pick.
Yeah, we still got the 18th pick,
And you
which
lock down, and we can probably still get possibly a
Keely
Devon
Ringo.
Witherspoon. Yeah, Devon Witherspoon, Kelly Ringo, Joey Porter Jr. I think all the corners could still possibly be there.
Yeah, some of them could for sure. So I just think to answer his question, what are we doing to get some on that D? We need to address that defensive tackle position with Jalen Carter because Brian Breesy, I'm just not the biggest fan. I
like him, but he's not consistent enough. He's like a poor man's Deron Payne that still needs development. If that makes sense. Like, he's not ever going to be Deron Payne. He's a cheaper version of him, and he needs more development to get to a cheap version of Deron Payne. Because he's not consistent. Now, I'm not saying he could come into the league and pull a James Houston. He could pull a James Houston, absolutely. But those are anomalies. Now, those are
for sure
pure anomalies. Like,
I agree.
No Name State University to the NFL and comes in and almost beat the second overall pick in sacks. Like,
on an abbreviated season because he started on the practice squad. So yeah, I agree with that. So, but Trox, man, it's been a lot of fun tonight. It's been great. It's good to see all of your people, man, coming in and out of the stream. Been some awesome questions, man. I'm really enjoying it. I got to get up in the morning and get my boys off to school, man. But
your boy
I appreciate you letting me onto the platform, man. This is the big stage. So you guys get used to seeing me, hearing my voice. And like I said, man, just throw it back at me, man. If you think I'm full of, you know what? Hey, throw it at me, man. Let's go. I love it. I love a little competitive banter going back and forth. All lighthearted, though. I don't take any of this seriously. I'm not here to corner anybody and make them feel defensive. because you have a difference of opinion than me. So I appreciate everybody, man, and I especially appreciate you, Trox.
Hey, I appreciate you, brother. I love that comment by Cool Guy Funhouse says Jamal Williams did only 2 pumps and they gave him a penalty. Bogus.
Oh man, oh my gosh, man. NFL is a weird place.
Absolutely.
It's a weird place.
Hey, I appreciate that. Oops, not that one. I'm trying to take out some of the stuff so it's all ready for next time. But yeah, I mean, we're gonna be doing these pop-up streams. We're gonna be having some fun. Definitely get used to having that QR code because hey, I want your guys' honest opinions and honest questions coming through to these shows. Uh, I do got to talk to Bird Gang and see if we want to restart Uprights and Insights as well. Sai, I know you're going to be almost. I'm going to try to get you a regular on the channels. Don't forget, we do have Detroit Lions Powerhouse. So, Lion fans, we can talk all Detroit Lions over there. Uh, I try to do on here more all general because obviously we have friends of all fan bases. So, I don't always want to just bore people with just Lions. That's why I have a Lions channel. I mean, but we'll talk Lions too if chat wants and got questions and stuff. But we do have that Detroit Lions channel over there. Just type in the search bar Detroit Lions Powerhouse. You will find me. That's actually the up that top corner. That's actually the logo to look for. So we're definitely going to be doing some things. Draft time is coming around. Free agency is coming around. Man, it's about to be wild. It's about to be fun. Obviously, we still got basketball. We got March Madness coming up.
Oh yeah.
The NBA playoffs, the tournaments, the finals. Like we're gonna be having a lot of fun over here. I'm trying to work on some things to get some other things situated. Obviously, I'm never stay in one spot at one time. I like to do multiple things because hey,
Yeah.
that's multiple angles of things that we can see and have a good time on. So
A lot of conversations out there, a lot of good stuff.
absolutely, and like I said, we love a good debate as long as it's clean, as long as it's healthy. A good healthy debate is always good. I love to be wrong and I love to be right, and it don't matter if I'm either or if I'm none of them. So
Right.
as long as we can talk some good football, have some good dialogue, man, ain't nothing better.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
man, I appreciate y'all for coming out. It was a pop-up stream for real. So hey, I appreciate y'all. Love y'all. Be safe. Have a great Thursday, because that is what's tomorrow. Tomorrow's Thursday. So have a great Thursday night. And stay tuned. I'll keep you guys posted in the community tab. I am trying to work on something that's going to cost me about 100 or $150. It's spicy, and we're gonna have some fun with it. So I am definitely trying to work on that, trying to get some other things going, and then we can start up basketball. But with that being said, I love you all. Stay safe. I love you. Peace.